This week I worked with a number of Latinos and some legislators. I know that several Latinos have gone in who were subjected to prepayment penalties and had tens of thousands of dollars withheld from their reimbursement. This is their money that they put up. The process is that they get the money back. If the state thinks it has a problem with it, then they can go and ask for it back through a judicial process. That's not what they do. They deny due process and they take the money and put you out of business. So a number of these companies have not had their money reimbursed and have not been given the right to due process. I think that should be addressed by the legislature. I think it should be studied, the effects known, and dealt with. Then the department dealt with appropriately. But today I want to focus on don't let Cal Recycle enforce other people's laws. In December of 2015, they enforced weights and measures laws. And they don't have the right to do that. They can't even interpret weights and measures laws correctly. But they still used it as an excuse to deny $409,000 in CRV payments to Latino recyclers in the Sacramento area, and without really due process. Another one is a sweetheart of a guy, Mr. Poncio and his wife. Had a recycling center, and he was accused of dishonesty and bribery. You be the court of public opinion. The man was being reviewed for his certification renewal, and the auditor requested documents. If the auditor had looked at the files, the auditor would know that the documents were kept at the home of the recycler and not at the location of the recycler. So she needed to make arrangements for him to bring those in. And he brought what he thought was everything, but he missed some stuff. A lot of the paperwork was handled by his wife and family, and they were off to see some relatives in Utah at the time. But they came back and he got the records to the lady. She came out and reviewed the records. And when she was leaving, he was grateful for her help. And he handed her an envelope, which she refused. And somehow, the story of this occurring got back to her boss and above, somewhere in the chain of command. And they made a decision to deny this man's renewal of his recycling center. That was not the recommendation of the auditor, but they chose to enforce bribery violations, and they did it through an informal hearing. Legal minds, especially those that understand informal hearings, formal hearings, and civil actions, will know that every time you go up, you have better standards to protect you. In this case, an informal hearing does not protect anybody who goes into it. In fact, I recommend that the legislature request an audit asking for decisions of informal hearings to be reviewed and to get some statistics on how often those accused prevail, because it's going to be very, very difficult even when they're innocent. But it should be studied. The legislature should have those ideas or that knowledge, and the legislature should get rid of the informal hearing in business cases. Poncio didn't do anything wrong. State law allows employees of the state to accept gifts up to a certain amount. I heard it was $100 at one time. I heard more recently it was $25. I don't know which it is. But according to Mr. Poncio, he was re-gifting some coupons for free hamburgers worth about $3 each. would have made the envelope's contents worth about $6 each. But since the auditor didn't open the envelope, nobody knows what was in it. He didn't ask for anything. He didn't say, please accept this and extend my certification. He just offered it as a gift. We know state employees can receive gifts. It just depends upon the value. Since there was no value, since there was no reception of a gift, the state had no right to accuse him of bribery and then convict him in an informal hearing. That's a problem. That's very detrimental to Latinos. We want our Latinos saved and protected. We don't want this type of behavior to be repeated. We want it stopped. We want minds that understand the rights of the citizens, of the businesses participating in this program to be respected and to be acknowledged under the rule of law.